How's that? All right, we're just kind of getting things set up, guys. So where do the if people post comments, do I see them? Let's see. All right, I got my tech guy on the other side. We're trying to get things set up here. Wait for a few people to come on live. Green beans, Chinese. Part of a balanced nutritional diet. All right, so chat's working. This is cool. We're on a new platform that we're using for the streaming service. We seem to run into a lot of tech issues on our previous live broadcast. Those of you who are watching, we learned a valuable lesson last week with YouTube. The minute I put my fingers on a gun, they shut it down. So we won't do that again because I guess we're not allowed to. Ultimately, I want to get out this year in hunting season and do the show from one of my blinds, one of the tree stands, and get those set up. I'll show you guys. We're still waiting for people to come on. So I got a photograph here. So a bunch of buddies of mine got together and contacted Redneck Blinds. Got a bunch of guys together to try to get a discount on shipping, discount on product, and ordered 2 truckloads of Redneck Blinds. And we got a hold of 3 of them. I'll hold this picture up, see if this works. Does this work? Yeah, there it is. There they are. They were just delivered to the property, and we've got the SecureIt Ranch. It's 500 acres. It's about an hour from here. It's about 10 minutes from my house, actually. It's top of a mountain, 2 valleys, a stream, 2 streams, actually, a pond. It's an incredible property. We're kind of mapping out where we're going to put the rednecks. And we've got a lot of regular tree stands, and a lot of the property is set up for bow hunting. That's the previous owner was a big bow hunter. He's still working with me on the land. We took possession of the property in February, and are going to turn this into the SecureIt Ranch, the SecureIt Hunting Ranch, SecureIt Preserve, whatever you want to call it. But I bought it from a bunch of lawyers who were all in their 80s, and they had one guy who'd been hunting it and maintaining it for almost 40 years. And he's in his 60s. And I met him when I was up there, just kind of scoping it out. He was taking down tree stands. We talked for a while. He told me that he was packing the stuff up and he'd been hunting it for 40 years. So I stopped him. I said, you know what? You're going to continue hunting it. I want to work with you because I don't know the land. He does. He's been on it for so long. So I said, look, as long as it's you and your wife, I don't want a lot of people. Continue hunting it and teach me what you know about the land. So he and I are working together to build this property out. We're putting in some roads, trails. There's a lot of stuff done, but we're going to improve it. And this year should be a good season. We've got a 10-point and an 8-point on camera. There's deer everywhere. A lot of coyotes as well. So I'm going to try to get out, hoping to get out end of this month, early September, for some coyote hunting. But 3 kids got to go to college, and we got to figure that one out. So Gun Lunch Live. We're doing our we're still kind of in test mode. We're not really promoting these yet. We're still working the bugs out of what we're doing, but we're hoping to get a lot more things going on. We've got the setup now to bring other people on board in terms of a split screen. We're going to test that out later today. Today's opening comment. This is, I'm in New York State. If you follow the news, if you're in New York State, Cuomo left office. And if you don't follow New York politics, you might not appreciate how big that is. He's one of the nastiest, meanest people you'll ever meet. And he was very powerful in the state purely out of fear. Everybody was afraid of this guy because if you went against him, his retaliation was brutal. And he had enough people based in this culture of fear that could attack people and really rip them apart. The interesting things that I look at, and this is my own, I always ask people, do you know this or do you believe this? This is my belief. I don't know this, but Lindsey Boland was the first one to come out and accuse him of inappropriately kissing her. I'm sure he did. The guy's kind of a creep. And that happened 2 years ago, 2018, actually almost 3 years ago. What I find interesting is that she came out in December after the election. Cuomo was one of the little darlings of the Democrat Party as far as handling COVID. At least he was pitched that way. I find it interesting that she waited, and they all waited till after the election to come after him. And then you've got Letitia James, who is our Attorney General, releasing her report, and now things are getting more aggressive. And in the past, she has stated that, AG stands for, what was her term for it? Aspiring governor, I think it was. She's made no bones. She wants to be the governor. And it just looks like this was a takedown. It needed to happen, but I'm just my own little conjecture on it, but it's interesting to watch a crazy, corrupt party in New York State start taking each other out. I think it's a good thing. I mean, it's getting him out of office will be good. I'd love to see New York State get this back to some level of what America's supposed to be, but we'll see. I'm not sure if I don't think the state's going to come to me. I think I'm going to end up probably leaving the state and end up somewhere else. So if anybody has any questions about anything, I mean, this is open forum. I don't care what we talk about. Ask away, type away. I've got Air Morgan, missed gun lunch last week. You didn't miss much. We had some major technical issues. We did the install of the conversion kit live into the Liberty safe. That went well until I touched the gun and went to put it in, and YouTube just completely shut it down, which is, welcome to big tech censorship. There's no reason for them to do that. I get it. It's their world. So now I'm going to do a little test here with a split screen if I can, and invite somebody in. So I'm sending a quick email to a colleague, and we're going to invite him onto the show. And we're testing this because we got a lot of people that would love to be on the show. We got a lot of people in the industry to talk to about interesting topics, and I'm sending him a quick email. See if this works. Boom, that's out. And now we're back. Let's see if that works, if he's going to come in. I got thumbs up for big tech. Yeah, that is a. How big is your R&D department? It's interesting. It's not really big at all. It's quite small, in fact. We just recently hired a head of R&D. Prior to that, it was me. And we've got, I've got between operations department and some of the other people, we kind of R&D, the advanced R&D was us in the shop, almost screwing around, just kind of banging stuff around, coming up with ideas. And then I've got a couple people in ops that have a strong engineering background. They were doing a lot of the detailed CAD work. We farm out most of our CAD work. We farm out a lot of technical. We typically, for me personally, I tend to build 3D models out of wood, plastic, paper, whatever I can do to fabricate what I need, and then get it right and then send it out. They have a CAD created so we can do prototyping and 3D printing and all that stuff. When it comes to product development, I'm not a tech guy. I'm a hands-on, I restore cars, I do welding and stuff like that, so I've got that background. But we did just hire, Ron Markle is our head of product development, and he's knocking out of the park. We will have a major product release, news release here in fourth quarter. We've got some big upgrades coming on several of our products. We do have a new product line coming out targeting the first of next year. It's a rush. And in some aspects of the gun world. It's going to be a game changer. We're not sharing information about it yet. We've just got to get a little farther along. We're not quite at a point where we can get a patent pending. There's a little more development work to do. Once we've got patent pending on it, we'll start talking about it, start showing it. But it's a great product. So let's see if Steve, and I'm gonna send him a quick text. See if he's actually, I'll do this. Let me go the other route. So I'm just calling him real quick on my video conferencing tool. Nope, it's not at his desk.
Stephen Walrath is.
Oh, just got a note here. Stephen is on the way. Good. I want to get this thing tested out because if I can get this working, it's really cool. Then we can bring in all sorts of guests from the firearms community, as well as customers. I mean, we're going to make it pretty open. I don't want to keep. There's too many things in our industry, in the gun industry, that are like polished. They're so, corporate America is so afraid of not being perfect, or somebody saying the wrong thing, or it's all about sound bites and all the little clips. But we take more of an approach that the more real it is, the better. We're not perfect. We make mistakes, but we also kick ass and get a lot done. Oh, I think I see Stephen coming on. Here we go. Hey, man, can you hear me? Can you see me?
Sure can.
So, guys, this is kind of cool. This is Stephen Walrath, one of our techs. In fact, you're the tech, I believe.
We're training up one or two more, so hopefully I'll have some backup.
I believe Stephen has the designation of being the longest term employee in this company, don't you?
Currently, I still have one person to beat for long-term overall for the company. So,
yeah. So, and what day? We got to make sure we're going to let you go the day before. So, Stephen is a tech guy. He just came back from a week at, I can let him explain, Viking camp, where I think they beat the hell out of each other with swords.
Yeah, it's part of. There's a bunch of different groups, and we belong to a few of them. But we do different full armored sword fighting with either we do what's the cedar waist, or not cedar, hickory wasters, which is a wooden sword, or we use rattan, which is like a solid bamboo, or we'll use real steel swords that are dulled, and but we do have real armor because it still hurts. I got some good bruises from it.
Oh yeah. I had a guy that worked in California that did the rattan. They were more into the Japanese sword fighting, and he would come back looking like he was in a street brawl.
Yeah, and those swords are like pieces of rattan kind of bundled together, where ours is just like one solid. It's like a baton.
Blunt force trauma.
Yeah.
Nice. That's funny. So what's in the future for Viking World?
We have another get-together we're going to do on Labor Day, and probably whack each other with swords on that one. Hopefully my armor will be ready then, so I have full protection, and I have a helmet on the way. It's a Norman helmet with a full Aventail, which is like chainmail that comes down and protects your neck. There's a cage under it, so super nerdy, fun, and an expensive hobby to get into.
Do you guys get spectators?
Once in a while, we had a party where I hired a belly dancer for my friends, and
spectator, great.
Yeah, she stayed and watched us and hung out and at the barbecue. So occasionally they'll do it in a park. There's a park in the south part kind of southeast part of the city that they'll go and practice in, and so some people watch, and they do it to try to get more people involved.
That's funny. Do you ever shoot a YouTube video? Does anybody video this stuff?
Not for myself, but there's lots out there. So Google heavy fighting in YouTube or live steel fighting, which that's the really brutal one. They have big tournaments in Europe where each country sends a team, and you do everything from 1-on-1 to 5-on-5, and I think the largest, it's either 16-on-16 or up to 30, where it's just a big brawl, and basically you're eliminated when you're knocked down. So if you take so much abuse that you give up or you're knocked over, you're out of it, and the whole thing is just to beat up everybody else.
It ends up being like 12 guys on 2 at the end, as one team is losing.
Yeah, if you're really unfortunate on the other team, it would be.
Damn. Well, see, I'm not interested in that as much as specifically watching you either kick someone's ass or get your ass kicked.
Mostly the latter, because I've been taking beatings on it.
So bring this back to gun storage somehow. What's your favorite rifle? Let's throw it out there.
Actually, it's the one that it's the only rifle that you and I both have, and I actually see it behind you. It's the Ruger gun sight.
Yeah.
I love that rifle. So the only difference in ours is we have different scopes. You helped me find one because I couldn't find the one on yours.
Yeah, the Scout, they don't make that Scout scope anymore. Yeah. Which I'm not. I mean, it's kind of a niche-y application, but if you've never fired one or dealt with the Ruger gun sight, when it first came out, it was a young Marine said it's the one gun to have if you can only have one, and it's a bolt-action 308 Scout rifle, lightweight. I've got a Scout scope, so the scope's way out on the barrel. I'd show it to you, but if I touch it, they shut me down. And as far as still hunting, moving around, walking, it's a very fast target acquisition gun, and you can swap the optic out, and that thing will reach out accurately a long way. It's a very good barrel in it. But at some point, we're going to have that out in one of the stands, and I'm not sure. I probably can't go live. We're going to be definitely shooting a lot of video this year of hunting season. But anyhow, Stephen, the system works. You've proven it. You are the first guest on Gun Lunch with Tom, so that's another first for Stephen Walrath.
Excellent.
Hi, man. I don't know how to turn you off. I'm going to try, okay?
All right. I think all right. Have a good one.
Boom. Cool. So that works. So we have technology. It's exciting. I see we got somebody coming in from Czech Republic. That's my last name is Kubiniec, Northern Czech Republic. So it's kind of in that area is where my family's from. Every Kubiniec or Kubiniec in the world with that name, I am related to. It's only one family. A little name trivia there. Yeah, that's don't touch it, the guns. So one thing I do want to talk about today is bins. That was going to be our product focus today. I'm actually going to grab a few just to talk a little about it. We use storage bins in our system. This was part of our military contract. When we developed the system for USAFIC, we came to them. We were a 3-person company with an idea for storage, which was Cradle Grid. And it was a culmination of our arms room assessment contract, as I've talked about before. We kind of BS'd our way into a really good contract to survey all their armories and present a report to the command as to why their armories were failing inspections. And this was a U.S. Army Special Forces. So we went to all the Special Forces groups and spent about 3 or 4 days at each group going through their armories, meet with their armorers, watching, looking. Nobody has or had that kind of access. And it was during all that time that we actually learned all the ins and outs of a military armory, stuff that no civilian or private company had ever done. And we came back to our office and set about, and we developed Cradle Grid technology as a system for storing firearms. In their case, it's one cradle. Our upper cradle does every single weapon they have, from M4, MP5, up to shoulder launch systems, to Carl Gustavs, to some of the mortar cannons. We basically do everything with one piece. Everybody else, all of the competitors, had a different bracket for each weapon system, so that our nearest competitor had 67 brackets. There's a company out of Canada. They had probably 270 different brackets. The problem with those systems, you install them, they work fine for the first month or two, or the minute the military unit gets different equipment and things start changing, which in the military things are always changing, all of a sudden you've got the wrong brackets. Now, the government just can't go out and buy something easily. They have to contract it. It's complicated. So they typically don't upgrade things like that. They just deal with what they have, improvise and overcome, improvise, adapt, overcome. Flash forward 2 or 3 years and these weapon racks are a mess because they've got the wrong parts in them. So we came up with a system. Once you have the system, that one saddle holds everything. And it's still a proven winner. Our armories that we built in 2010 are still performing very, very effectively. What we've recently done is actually developed a conversion kit that takes our competitors' weapon racks and converts them to our system. Because you get the old, like the old Space Saber is one of the manufacturers. They did a lot of installs before we got into the market. A lot of their armories are just a mess. And the government comes in and says, hey, we got to redo this armory. Well, redoing a good sized armory is $300,000 or $400,000. We come in and say, look, if the doors still close and lock are in okay shape, we can simply replace the interior. Instead of spending $400,000, they're spending about $80,000 to redo the armory. And it brings it up to this standard, to a modern standard. And going forward, the system should adapt. So it's been a very good, product. It's worked very well for us. But one of the things we brought in with that for storage were bins, the plastic bins. And we didn't know if they were going to, laugh at us, love them, hate them. We didn't know what. They ended up loving them because it's something you can source almost anywhere. They can go down their auto pool, steal them from the shop, whatever. But I've got this bin with I've got some bipod and then a couple of just parts. Because I can't touch a firearm, what I want to talk about with bins, a couple different things, is when you're storing stuff that you want to keep locked, you also want to keep things clean. And in the gun safe and gun storage world, oil cleaners, all those things can be very messy and they don't mix well with really nice firearms stored in a beautiful way. So by using the bins, what you're able to do, in this case, let's pretend this is a handgun. And I'm going to my bench to do some work on it. And I disassemble it. And let's say this is the frame. And these are the slide, the various components of that firearm. And let's say I'm working on it, but I don't finish my work. I still have a firearm here. It's disassembled. In the bin, I keep frame on one side, all the parts on the other. I could, if I wanted to, keep, if I've got a lubricant in there or whatever, all the parts stay together. Every piece of this gun, if I've got a special tool, I'll keep it in the bin. With that firearm, I go back into the safe and just like that, hang it back up. It's that organization, there's different ways to organize things. And what I've figured out over the years when I'm working on stuff is, the old-fashioned way is have all your tools in a toolbox, and you get something out, you go get the specific tools you need, you work on it, you put everything away. For the most part, I still do that. In my auto shop, I restore cars, I pretty much do that. But in my safes, there's a lot of guns I have, or optics, or things that have a specific Allen wrench or a Torx wrench or something that goes with them, that came with the optic. I keep a bin with, if I've got firearms, a lot of the AR platform guns are like that, and I'll keep the tools for that gun right with the gun, so right behind it. So if I'm going to the bench, I grab the gun, I grab the little thing of all the little tools, and it's got the specific size Allen wrenches and punches, whatever it is for that firearm. I find for me, it's a lot more convenient than always having to go to my toolbox and get the specific tool I need, because we own a lot of optics. Every single one of them comes with the tools to do it. I've got a couple of guns with pins and stuff that I have punches that are specific, and I go to Harbor Freight and I'll buy cheap punches and put the punches with the guns. I just find that easier. Another big advantage with bins, I've got a bunch of clean products here, is I keep all my gun stuff organized in cabinets. I got some big storage cabinets. I've got some of our Agiles in my house. And as far as, happy wife, happy life, all that, I find if I keep all my stuff stored, organized, out of sight, I can get all I want. Nobody's ever given me a hard time about owning too much stuff, because as far as the world's concerned, it's all put away. So oils, cleaning products, all those things make a hell of a mess if they spill, if things go wrong. I keep everything in a plastic bin because this is an old can of V8. This is a VCI corrosion inhibitor. I'm going to say I got this in 2008. I've had it for a long time. And I don't use it much. Inhibitor was a big brand a long time ago. They did a lot of work with the military. It does work though. VCI, you can Google it up, is a pretty neat technology for blocking rust. There's a lot of companies that sell VCI plugs for shotguns, and every tackle box sold nowadays has like Z-Rust or one of those components in it that stops corrosion. VCI is it's a molecular coating. It coats the metal and stops electricity. Corrosion or rust is an electrical process. Now, the show's not about corrosion, but suffice to say, this can is over the years has just gotten oily and gooey and some stuff weeping around on it. I again keep it all in bins, so I never have a mess. I never have, even when I'm working on a bench, if I'm working on guns, I keep these in and out. I keep my bench is a pretty nice. It's a wood bench with a nice stand with a mat over it, but I don't want to get things getting all oily and nasty. Shameless plug, Vortec products. Just started using these. I got turned on to these by Gary Melton over at Paramount Tactical. You can check out his YouTube channel. He does some of the best reviews that I've ever seen. He did a review of the Agile cabinet, and it was a no bullshit review. He did a really good job with it. He's a good guy, but he turned me on to this stuff, and you know, I'm not a gun cleaning expert. He actually is. This stuff works pretty good. So shameless plug, Vortex products. But it is that easy. I just reach back, throw them on. If you're using our stuff, if you're going to buy a cabinet, buy bins. Right now, I do also want to shout out, if you are considering adding to your SecureIt storage collection, if you're new to our brand or thinking about getting something, we are moving our warehouse. We have a single big warehouse facility in Dallas, Texas. It's a contracted warehouse. We don't own it. It's an owned warehouse that we rent a major piece of, and that a 3PL company manages it. They do all the packing, shipping, and it's a really good relationship. A lot of companies like us operate that way. But we've grown so much that we are now splitting that. We're going to have a warehouse in Memphis to feed the East Coast, and then a warehouse in Reno for the West Coast. What that'll do is shorten delivery times, reduce freight rates, and make just everything more efficient. Well, we've got probably $1.5 million, $2 million in inventory in that warehouse. It'll cost us a couple $100,000 to load it in the trucks and ship it to the new warehouse. We can do that. Or if you go to our website right now, see a big thing, moving sale. What we've done is reduce the price on a bunch of our cabinets, the ones we've got a lot of stock on. And right now, I think you can get an Agile Pro for, I think, $300 or $400 off. I'm not have to look it up. Actually, I think this might be $500 off. I'm going to take a quick peek at it right now. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do this or not, but hey, we're live. I can do anything. Boom. It's $500 off. $9.99 down to $6.99. We started this in August 1st. It is really a while supplies last. People who know us know that if we had something on sale and you add it to your cart, you're going to buy it, and you got to go do something, you come back 2 days later and the sale's over, if you call us, we typically honor the price. In this case, that's not going to be the case. This is a while supplies last. These prices are way below what we could ever normally sell these for. This was just a determination to say, let's get rid of this inventory, as opposed to loading it into trucks, shipping it, unpacking it, re-inventory. Just the cost of doing that is easier just to say, let's just give our customers a big price break. So if you're considering adding anything, now's the time to do it. This sale is going to end in the next. There are certain products. I know the answer cabinets, I think, are no longer on sale. And it's because we sold out what we had. Actually, they are. There's a few still on sale. The Answer 12s are gone. Answer 8s are still pretty good. You know, $400 or $500 off on those. The Agile Pro is just a slam dunk at $699 all day long. That's a crazy price, as well as the quads, if you want to look at that. So if you're considering firearm storage of any kind right now, and this is going to end the next few days. Let me get back to my yard. Any other questions? Okay. I love the bins. Use them for everything. Keep all my 22s in bins as well. I have 22. You know, I keep handguns in bins. I'll admit I'm not a big handgun guy. I'm a rifle guy. I'm a shotgun guy, mainly a rifle guy. We have the peg system for guns. I don't own enough handguns to make the peg system work for me. We are developing a 22 caliber peg. It's going to be, because of the thin nature of it, you can't use a nylon. You can't use something soft. So we're looking at using actually a brass thread-on peg. That won't damage the barrel, but it'll give you guys the ability to store it. Who is that YouTube channel, Bortech Review? It's Paramount Tactical, Paramount. Gary Melton. Gary and I are friends. He's a good guy. He does very good reviews. He also, if you're ever considering firearms training of any kind, I've taken a lot of his classes. My boys have taken a lot of his classes. The drive here from here to his place, about 5.5 hours. He's down in West Virginia. Between there and here, I drive by a lot of training facilities, but we actually drive all that way down there because his classes are just better. The information is good, presented in a fun way, and his staff is, I mean, these guys are all, they're all former operators, but they don't have that ego thing you see in some schools in some areas where they're, you know, the cool macho bullshit. These guys run a really fun, very educational, very hands-on training classes. We've done, my boys and I have done a couple of them, and each one of my boys, I will say, won the top shot competition when they were at the class, which is kind of cool. I didn't, but they did. They're both, in their own minds, they're both very good shots. They're a little different, but they are very good at it. Nice. I need to add to my answer. The only thing better than an answer cabinet is 2 answer cabinets. Absolutely. Still waiting on lights for the Agile. We are testing those right now. That's the beauty of having somebody who's actual dedicated to head product development. We're actually going to start moving things forward a lot faster. So that's coming. I know they've got stuff here right now that we're testing. I've walked by several times. I don't have an exact time frame on it. I'm going to actually leave myself a note, and in the next show I will talk about this, what we're looking at. Because we did a lot of trade shows back in the day, and we had made lights for the Agiles. I got to tell you something, it is really nice. I do like it a lot. I see the quad sets. Can we get individual cabinets anymore? Yeah, they're on the website. If you go to our website, just go to the Agile page. Above the quads are individual cabinets. Underbed safe with a simplex lock? Probably not. And the design of that particular cabinet doesn't match to the function of the simplex lock, the actual mechanics of it. Simplex locks are also very expensive. People think electronic lock, once you have a mechanical lock, it's cheaper. Actually, a really good mechanical lock is dramatically more expensive than electronic lock. We run into challenges with that. And we're submitting these for the California DOJ approval, and that may come to other states. Simplex locks are problematic. The companies that have been grandfathered in, they've got that designation, they're good to go. New companies are going to be challenged to get that lock to work, to pass the specifications. We are looking at some different locking options going forward, and bringing some new technologies into the locking scenario, just to make firearm storage easier to manage, easier to deal with. But to do a mechanical, we're going to have to probably develop our own, because I don't want to design a whole product for the specific reason to use this one lock. We design products for the function of your hands taking out the gun, and the simplex didn't work for how we believe things should work. Other companies have used it, but we probably will not. Doesn't mean we won't have a mechanical, but it won't be that one. I'm in California. I'm using the 47 now. Yes, you are. I'll tell you what. Interesting. California DOJ compliance. We didn't submit for DOJ. We pass it. We meet the standards. But I talked to some people there years ago about the arbitrary nature of it, because they've changed that certification over the years. And there's companies selling products in California that if we offered them now would not meet the standard. but they're able to sell them. So they want to hold us to any new companies to a higher standard than companies that are already selling. We think that whole classification is really it's arbitrary. What they're actually saying you have to do to be secure, we can demonstrate that actually it's less secure. I mean, it wasn't designed by security people, it's designed by lawyers. So we said, let's not do it. And the result is we sell more fast boxes, more agile cabinets to California than any other state in the country. And we are not DOJ compliant. We have a little sticker on there that says, if you live in California, move or read this. And we put the little disclaimer on it. Going forward, we probably are going to submit the Agile. We probably are going to get the DOJ compliance on those. We kind of take on a smart ass approach of we're not going to play your game. Okay, we won that one, I think, but we will get that compliance in so there's nobody giving us a hard time or anything. Any chance of making a document holder, tax stamp paperwork? Interesting. That's from Chris Walensky. Chris Walensky, Kubiniec, nice Polish voice. That's interesting. Sure, there's a chance. I like what you're saying there. We hadn't talked about it. Again, I'm gonna make a note. I'm thinking license holder, I mean, just all sorts of things like that. I can tell you this, that smaller pieces, documents, if they're like my hunting license and stuff, I slide those behind the louvers on cabinets. I know in the military where they issue weapons, you get the card that when they issue the weapon, they take your card. When you give the weapon back to the armor, they give you your gun ID back, and they drop the card right in between the louvers where the gun was. The system does do that, but for larger paper documents, it doesn't. I don't know. You know what? I made a note of it, and I can't promise anything, but we'll take a look at it. I think that's a neat idea. And let me do, actually, take it quick. Love my text. So I got a picture. If we end up going with that way, Chris, I will figure out how to get back in touch. I'll send you a note, and we'll see if we can make that work. I use a shelf. Yeah, I do too. The gun shelves, I use those for books and things that I keep in my safe. I don't keep a lot of stuff, but I do keep. I use one made a log book for dope on guns, on some of the long range guns. Installing 47 on floor. Use a floor jack to lift the car to push up the mattress and box springs up enough to install. It worked really well. So you use a floor jack to lift up the bed to get the fast box underneath. That's pretty fun. You must have a heavy bed. Now we have one of those latex mattresses. I'll tell you, the thing weighs like 400 pounds. Interesting idea. The photo of that or the video of that would have been really funny, I bet. So other things to talk about today. I've been asked this a lot. I've been on a lot of podcasts in the last 6 months. Some good ones too. Some good guys out there. Carry Trainer. We did that podcast with Mickey up in Chicago, and I've actually started listening to his podcast on a regular basis. John Bartolo, another one that I find myself listening to. Just when I haven't heard a Boston accent in a long time, I listen to that one. But no, they're good guys. When I'm on those shows, we're always talking about business development, and we talk a little bit about how SecureIt runs and works. And then I get a lot of people coming to me with questions about how SecureIt actually runs. I was going to do a little, because we're a really unique company. We don't operate like most companies. It's a very different mindset. First off, the company was in this building I'm in right now, and the company is remote. There's 4 of us here today. There used to be 20 people in here, 30 people in here, but there's 3 or 4 people in this office. The rest of the company runs remote. We're now hiring. We hire people. We hire all over the country. We run the company completely open book. A lot of my business colleagues, I'm a member of some peer groups, CEO, business owner groups, and they all tell me I'm nuts. But every month, and we just had our meeting before we went live today, We do a monthly meeting where we go over income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. We go over the numbers in detail. And then we go into usually an educational component so everybody that works here knows how things work, why things work. I want everybody know why decisions are made. When I hire new people, I tell them, I want you to know why and how we make decisions. I want you to make better decisions. That way, everybody here works more efficiently. And then what we do is every year we establish a goal for the year. And it's company's growing like crazy. We establish a goal, and the minute we beat the goal and start moving past it, a big chunk of that money goes into a pool. It gets divided up amongst all the employees based on payroll. So last year, we crushed our numbers. Last year, bonuses went out. I think they range from like 14,000 to like 60,000 in that range. It was a game changer for people who work here. And, a bunch of people come to me, gee, Tom, you're so generous. Gee, Tom, that's great. I didn't do anything. All I did is say, this is what I think this company can do. And everybody here, by making good decisions, by getting stuff done, by kicking ass, said, no, we can actually get to here. And that growth difference we shared with everybody. And I think it's a great way to do it. What it gives me is a team of people that we're open books, so they understand the economics of this business. We keep it very simple. They all make decisions that are, if it's sales-based, you're selling more, you're higher profit, whatever you're trying to do. If it's on the ops side, you're looking at cost-cutting measures, and everybody finds stuff. There's always ways to find savings or to find additional sales, different things you can do. And this year we're operating, we had a big goal to hit, and we're tracking to hit our goal sales-wise. It's 60% growth. It's a big number. Yet our profit number is way up because the ops side has got cost cutting, and efficiencies built in. They're doing really, really well. So we're looking at another year with a pretty good sized bonus going out. It's a really neat way to run a company. It frees me up from having to do any bullshit. It frees up our management team from having to deal with a lot of the crap of, we don't manage people, we lead people. You manage things. And when I hire people, I tell people, I sit them down, I always tell them, and you're gonna love this one, managers out there, I'm not paying you to work. I tell everybody that. And I don't care. I'm not paying people to work. I'm paying for results. When I tell people our company runs remote, other business owners say, yeah, but how do you know if your people are working or just sitting home watching TV? I said, I don't care. And they look at me and I said, I don't care. I said, I'm not paying them to work. I'm paying for the results. Now their pay, they've got their salary, but their incentive, their bonus pay is tied to the results. And we have a system in place of how we actually run the company in terms of our breakdown of decisions, of how we get things done, that tracks accountability and make sure everybody's getting things done. If you're behind, you're not in trouble. If you're working here and you're responsible to have something done and you're behind schedule, you're not getting in trouble. What's happening is you're saying, hey, are you on track or not? It says, no, I'm behind schedule. What's the issue? And then we as a team will put a team together, solve what the problem is. Now, if the problem is the person's not working, they'll be replaced. We don't have that problem. Typically, there's problems resolved, problems happen. But our way of doing it is, if you're falling behind, bring in the team, what's going on, what's causing us to fall behind, solve that problem, get back on track and keep moving. And it works. The system we use, it's called EOS, is the name of the management style or management system for running a company. We take that mixed with our profit sharing plan, and Inc. magazine lists us as one of the fastest growing companies in America. And I own the company, I run the company, but I'm not doing it. All I'm doing is putting getting people in the right seat and then just letting them run, letting them do their jobs. I spend very little time, almost no time, in my operations and customer service and all these departments of the company, because they're so much better than I am. Why would I go in there and say, what's going on? These guys know what they're doing. Anybody deals with us, anybody who's called in here with an issue knows our customer service. Nobody does what we do. Nobody is as good as we are, as these guys are with customer service. And it shows. I mean, our customers like us. When the customers that have issues, they always come back saying, thank you so much. Looking at questions here. Can you recommend a safe room builder in Texas? That's an interesting question. We used to work with one. Look up real quick. Let's see who they are. You got to Google storm shelter if you want to build a gun room. That's the guys who are doing it. We're building. If you want to build, a safe room, look up storm shelters in your area, and there's several in Texas that do. A lot of the guys that we had talked to, that we've worked with, they build Connex boxes and they bury them, and they do stuff like that. But I don't remember the name. I'll keep the chat live open. I'll see if I can get in and find out the. Actually, if you're looking for that safe room builder in Texas, send an email to service at SecureIt Tactical, our service department, with that question. And because we do work with some. We don't do a lot of work with those guys, but we do some work. Where can I see your job openings? Right now, I'm not sure we have any. And we talked about that yesterday. We had our senior management team. We are going to be building a portal on the website. We are growing. We are hiring. As of right now, I think we're hiring. I think they're looking at a customer service position for phone-based inbound call answering, customer service on order processing type stuff. But we will have that in place. I don't right now, and it's something we do need to do. All right, guys, we're winding down. I've got about 10, 15 minutes left in the show. And then, hey, guys, this is really cool. I'm going to bring a video camera. So when the show is over, first off, you can see I jump around a bit. If you have questions, I'm wrapping up like in 5, 10 minutes. The minute this show is over, I'm hooking up my big-ass trailer to my F-250, heading out to pick up a Tracker 800 SX. It's a side-by-side, 2-seat, dump bed, off-road tracker for the SecureIt camp, and this thing's badass. It's a nice unit. I think I'll seat probably up to 6 if you got little guys in the middle. But I'm gonna pick that up today, get that out to the land, and then we're hoping to work with Polaris. We do some marketing work with Polaris, mixing their product with our fast boxes, and I might talk to them about if they can get us a couple of quads. We'll feature them in videos, but. I'm excited to go out and get there. If you have any questions, ask them. What's for lunch? Today's lunch was Kung Pao chicken. We have a really good, authentic Chinese restaurant not too far from here, and it's not like your basic Chinese food where it's all full of starch and it's like Cisco Foods Chinese restaurant number 26. We're all the same menu. This place is actual. They don't speak English. It's an actual sit-down restaurant. And it is, I travel a lot in China. This is very authentic. So I've got Kung Pao chicken, and of course, they came back with sauteed green beans because they know that's one of my favorites. Tons of garlic, and I think it's coriander they put on it. But they're very good. Are you going to put a fast box in the back? That's a question. And is that in the back of the off-road vehicle that we're purchasing? I don't know. We're gonna play with it. Not sure what we're gonna do. That vehicle's not gonna need secure storage. It's not gonna be used that way. But the answer is yes. And that question, I will tell you, is coming from Olivia, who is our what I call one of our marketing whiz kids. She's been with us for. Type in the notes. How long have you been with us? About 5 years. Out of college, came to work for us, and she is the one that handles a lot of our interactions with, like we do a lot with Stag Arms now. We're doing a lot with Polaris. She's our not brand ambassador. I hate that term, but she's the one that gets us working with other companies in the industry to share content. We just did a giveaway with Stag Arms. We gave away fast box. They put a rifle together. It was a package deal. And we're doing a lot of other things like that. So hoping to get her on the show. Little over 4 years, loving it. Absolutely. So Olivia, we got to get you on the show at some point. She's an avid hunter, avid bow hunter, and can't wait to get her out and show her the property. Actually, she's gonna flip. All right, guys, I'm gonna be wrapping this up. It's does anybody have any last minute questions? This is probably the last of what I'm calling our test shows. We're not really promoting these. We're just kind of going live, and the goal is to become more popular with it, get more out there. If you guys have things you want me to cover, just ask. You know, we can talk about anything. I've got nothing off the table. I'm good to talk. I want to show you guys anything that we can show. I've got some things coming up that I want to do. Challenge with YouTube allowing me, there's so many things we can do that would require me to move firearms in terms of how we set up safes and stuff that I just can't do because I can't touch them. So we're going to try to figure that one out. But do you attend any gun shows to promote your products? You know, 2 years ago, we did a 20 by 40 booth at SHOT Show. I about spent $160,000 to be there. We've always been there for years. I'm not sure we're going back. It's a lot of money. And I'm not sure we get much bang for our buck in that one. That's really an industry show. It's for showing your product to stores. And we are direct to consumer right now. And I've talked about that before, why we are direct. You know, the big box stores, they need to make 40 to 60% margin. That means whatever we sell it for, they're going to double it to sell to you. We'd rather just keep the prices more competitive. Will we do shows in the future? I don't know. Handgun storage is coming for us. It's a new product. It's going to be a game changer. That may end up being for sale everywhere. We're just not sure yet. So saw that video that you made by. Well, good. It was probably one of the videos from SHOT Show when I did the Davey versus Goliath presentation at SHOT Show. That was, if you haven't seen that video, go on our YouTube channel. It was a fun talk. I was talking about the history of the gun safes and where they went off the rails, and it was a pretty brutal talk. What you couldn't see in the video, right on the other side is a wall of people, and then there's two booths of our competitors, safe industry, you know, gun safes. So it was Home Ec, I came with the other one, and the reps, those guys are all sitting there like this, just watching. Somebody at the end of it came up and said, "Man, you got balls." But I just don't care. It's those guys are dinosaurs. They're happy with their dinosaur life, and we just really don't care. Can you pre-record yourself handling a firearm and then show it live? I don't know. I doubt it. However, what we can do is do the live show and then reference you to a video. Like, we're going to post some videos this year. We're going to create a lot of videos building the hunting camp, and I want to get videos live. I don't think do live of actually being on hunts. Again, I got a 10-point and I got an 8-point on camera. I set up for bow hunting, pretty short range, but then I hunt the 6.5 Creedmoor, and I can go out this 400 to 600 yards depending on the setup. And we still haven't dialed that in how we're going to set this thing up. But it'd be fun to get video of those hunts and put them together. We've recently brought on board Seth Landau, who is his background is film, and so our content quality is jumping up leaps and bounds. But a lot of comments. Looking forward to setting up SecureIt in your house. Oh, you saw me in the carry trainer video. That was a really good show. Mickey's an amazing guy. He does a really good podcast. Probably one of the best out there. But anyhow, guys, what's this? You have the best products. Oh, thank you very much. So everyone. So about the gun room built. Oh, yeah. Gun rooms, I mean, I am going to do a show for my house. I've got a gun room in my house. It's much smaller than this, but it's also, I was a guitar player, so a lot of old guitars up on the walls with old guns. And at some point, I'll be doing gun lunch live from the house. But Anyhow, we are going to wrap this thing up today. It's been you want to make an hour go by really fast, turn on a camera and talk to it. It's crazy. So we'll be back. I'm not sure the exact schedule. It's supposed to be every other Friday, but I believe in 2 weeks, I may be down in Savannah, Georgia. I think I can shoot remote probably. But I'm not sure. My travel schedule is going to start picking up with a lot of stuff going on, but we are committed to getting this done every 2 weeks. So there are going to be some shows. We're going to be shooting from who knows where. Anyhow, everybody have a good weekend. Get outside, get some fresh air, do some neat stuff. If you are an avid hunter, I'd recommend going out, getting your rifle sighted in now. Up around here several years ago, a lot of areas that were shotgun switched, added rifle, allowed rifle shortly before hunting season. Everybody went out sighting in their rifles, and the deer harvest that year was actually pretty low. So I would say if you're going to sight in rifles, do it now. It's not unfun. In fact, I'm going to head out next week and get my muzzle loader, and I've got a crossbow I'm going to sight. I've never hunted with a crossbow before, but I can't draw a bow. I got a torn rotator, which I'm not going to fix. I'm just going to do PT and get it strong. But anyhow, guys, I'll talk to you all in 2 weeks. If anybody has any questions, concerns, or anything, send an email to service, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.